today I'll be talking about the new Range Rover Evoque. Stay tuned. Please hit the subscribe button below to make sure that you're notified when I make a new upload. Let's talk about the design of this car. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's full of leather. You've got leather on the steering. You've got leather on the dash right here. You've got leather in the doors. You've got this really nice texture on the door right here, which feels really nice, and it's also on here as well. It feels really nice. It's soft, it's squidgy. Now you've also got a really nice leathery steering and also some leathery seats. Now the seats are full on leather. They feel nice, they're comfortable to sit on. Now let's talk about the steering on this car. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's got really nice dials on here. It's got dials that actually adjust according to what you're doing. So obviously the sound here can be increased, just like the sound can be increased and decreased, just like the old iPods that we used to have when we were kids. You can click on the menu here. When you click menu, that changes stuff on here, and obviously the dials on here changes according to that, which is pretty cool. You've also got lane assist, which means that if you're on a motorway on a long journey, the car will always stay in lane, and if you do suddenly leave the lane by mistake, it will automatically push you back in. Now this can be deactivated when you put the signal on. So when you put the signal on, it will turn it off for a few seconds. You'll get into the new lane, and then once you turn the signal back off, that automatically engages again. You've also got heated steering, which is really nice in the winter. It keeps you warm while you're driving. It's such an amazing feature. Now the steering itself feels really nice to hold and really nice to touch. It's just really thin, which makes it just convenient, I guess, and really comfortable. You've also got flappy pedals. Now flappy pedals are connected to the steering itself, which means that when you're turning, you can downshift and upshift even if you're going around the bend. This is such a great feature. Now this car comes with a feature where on all four doors, if a passenger is leaving the car, this will light up as orange if there's a car in your blind spot. So when I open the door, it's not lighting up as orange, which means that there aren't any cars in my blind spot, and hence, you know, I don't get run over. Now this car also has a feature where you can child lock the back two doors and lock the back windows, which means that if you have kids in the back, it's great. Now this car also comes with two cup holders, which are below here. Really nice, big sized. However, it comes with this compartment which you can put your phone, which fits right here. But when you want to put cups in, what do you do with this? You feel like it's just lost. You just have to put it down somewhere. There's also a really tiny compartment in here to allow you to store your stuff right behind the infotainment system, that I think looks really good and looks really secretive. It also comes with a panoramic sunroof, which looks amazing. It adds a lot of light into the car. I think this car is quite dark when the panoramic sunroof is closed. However, it doesn't open. It's just a display. It doesn't actually open, so you can't click a button to open it fully. I think that would be really nice if you can do that, but obviously where's the glass really going to go if you open it? Now let me demonstrate what it's like when it's closed in terms of lighting in the car. Yeah, so there's a lot less light in the car, so I think it's great. We've also got keyless entry. You've also got two heated seats, which keep you nice and warm in the winter. Now this display comes at an angle, and Range Rover actually allow you to change the angle depending on what you like. So if you click this button here, the angle actually starts flat out, and you can actually choose what angle you'd like to have it at, which I find really cool. This car comes with smartphone compatibility, which means that it's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which means that you can have your sat nav on here while you're playing your music on the second screen. I really love this feature. I think it's amazing. You can change your music from here instead of having to go back onto the first screen, which most cars have, to change the song on here. Another feature I like about this car is it has a reversing camera, which makes it really easy to park. Now, this car also comes with downhill brake control, which means that when you're going down a slope, the car will slow down automatically in order for you not to crash. Now, this car comes with a range of different driving modes such as dynamic. It also comes with eco mode, comfort mode, grass, gravel, mud ruts, and last but not least, sand. You can, however, leave it in auto, and the car will just do that automatically by itself. These modes allow you to adjust the car for different driving conditions. So obviously, if you're trying to race someone on a track, obviously you'd put it in dynamic mode, whereas if you're just driving in the city, you might go for eco mode. I'm really glad that Range Rover have kept the buttons for the temperature control. This is because it's much easier to just change the temperature while you're driving, rather than having to go to an actual button and change it and click on a screen to change the temperature. Now, this car also comes with a digital cockpit. Now, digital cockpit is one of those things where it's developing and it's coming into newer cars as we develop and as we become more technologically developed. And I have to say, I love this digital cockpit. It looks really nice. It's designed really well. You feel like it's been designed by someone who's put in a lot of effort in it. You can actually go on the menu here and go on the info panel and change what you want to have in the middle here, depending on your needs. So you can have the map as I had it, or you can have driver's assistance. And when you have driver's assistance, show you how that looks. You just got the lane keeping assist in the middle, which shows you that you're actually still staying in lane. Now, the car comes with a lot of safety features on here, such as collision avoidance, emergency lane keeping, steering assistance, speed limit awareness, driver condition monitor, and parking notification, which is such an amazing amount. Now, I also like the way Range Rover have kept things really simple in there, rather than trying to go over extravagant on the colors and over extravagant on the way things are designed. I think that keeping things simple can sometimes make things look the best. Now, you've also got the speed limit in there, which comes in really handy. It tells you what speed to do. It reminds me of the speed limit. It also comes with a feature where whenever there's a camera, it will give you a couple of beeps. So it goes teet teet teet, and that kind of lets you know that there's a camera coming up. So yeah, that comes in really handy, I would say. Now, this car comes with a really small back window, which means that looking into the back window through this mirror is quite skewed, I would say. I can't really see much. However, it comes with such a brilliant and fascinating feature, something that I've wanted to have on cars in the past, but it just never has happened. You can flick this dial here and a video will come up. So obviously you flick it and right there you've got a video. So now you've got a tail camera on the back which records everything live, and that shows a much clearer and high definition video of whoever is behind you. So now I'm sitting in my comfortable position in the front seat. I'm going to jump into the back and demonstrate headroom and knee room in the back. Now, in terms of headroom in the back, I've got loads of room in there. However, in terms of knee room, it is very tight. It's extremely tight in terms of knee room, not much in there. In terms of the angle you sit at, you sit quite downwards, which makes it feel like you're crammed. So I wouldn't say it's comfortable in the back, but it's all right. Now, as you can see here, the door is quite small, which means that for someone big like me, getting in through here is quite tight. So as you can see here, it's extremely tight in here. I mean, gosh, I can't even fit in here. God, I need to get out of here. Now, this Range Rover also has a feature where the car can park itself. So you click this button right here and it starts searching for spaces for the car to park. Now it says stop and select reverse to begin maneuver. So as we go into reverse, we let go, and the car should park itself. Now you can press the brake at any time you want if you feel the car traveling too fast. So now, as you can see, clearly the car's just gone into the bushes. It hasn't noticed that we're in an area that has trees, and it just went into the trees. I'm quite astounded that this has happened, especially for a car of this caliber. Yeah, now let me go downstairs and check if anything happened to it. Yeah, I mean, it's all good for now, but come on. I'd expect better of Range Rover. So now, as you can see, Range Rover expects you to put the car in B and drive slowly. So keep your foot on the brake and then reverse slowly while keeping your foot on the brake. Now I am disappointed because the likes of Mercedes have produced a parking system where the car can fully park itself, and you don't have to brake or slow the car down. It just does it by itself, and it knows when to stop, and it knows when the car is fully parked. So yeah, now in terms of the parking, it's not actually parked between the lines either. So as we can see here, the car's just, in terms of the line, it's just gone over the white line. Now it is really disappointing. Now they do this car in a 2.2 litre diesel and a 2 litre diesel, and they've got a few other petrol engines. Now I would say most people out there will probably go for a diesel engine, seeing that it's more economical, or if you need more torque, driving out in different terrains, I'd say diesel engines is probably what I would personally go for. As you can see here, it's a very high definition video of everything behind me. I don't need that mirror. I probably will never use that mirror if I was to use this car in an everyday life. It's showing me everything really clearly. Now the camera of this is on the top of the car, which means that the angle is slightly different as to what you'd see in the back, in the rear view mirror. But it still comes in really good. It works really well. Now this car feels really comfortable to drive. It feels really comfortable around bends. It doesn't feel like it's rolling like a lot of SUVs. You feel like you're driving something of luxury. And yeah, now I'm gonna demonstrate the way adaptive cruise control works on this car. So we're gonna set it on, I'm setting it on 70 miles an hour. Now the car's currently at 60 miles an hour, but because there's a car in front of me, it's keeping me at safe distance. Now I can reduce that distance by pressing this button on the steering, and now it's reducing the distance. Now it's keeping me at a safer distance, however at a closer distance to the car in front of me, but still at a safer distance. Now if the car in front of me decides to stop right now, this car will automatically stop as well. This car does have a feature called lane keeping assist, which means that it keeps you in lane. It's just a feature where it helps you correct the way you're in lane. So if you do suddenly doze off, it'll just hit you back into the lane. So let's say we force the car back out of the lane, it'll just push yourself back in. It'll just push the car back into the lane, which is really, really cool, really easy and subtle. You don't feel it. It's obviously got adaptive cruise control as well, which also works in all speeds, so even below 20 miles an hour. Now I love this feature because in start-stop traffic, it can get annoying to have to start pedaling and then braking, pedaling and then braking. Now with start-stop traffic, you literally just put the car in the set speed that you'd like to drive in, and the car will literally stop when cars in front of you stop, and then it will drive off again when cars in front of you drive off. Now the only issue with that is, if you're approaching a traffic light, the car will not stop on a traffic light. It will keep going because obviously it thinks that you want it to drive at 50 or you want it to drive at 40. So yeah, I'd just say be careful with that. However, I think it's such a brilliant feature that a lot of cars are using nowadays and a lot of car companies have brought in. Now, if you suddenly change lanes and there's a car in front of you and you're in adaptive cruise control, the car will automatically brake for you. So as we're approaching here, we're approaching this Ford right here. Now, if I suddenly decide that I need to take the next exit and I need to get into this lane, now my foot's away from the brake and I'm going to get in here. Now, can you see how the car automatically braked by itself? Now, it's just fascinating. It's just amazing. It's just the way this car just stopped, and it kept me at a safe distance, even though I was approaching the car at a higher speed than he was doing. So when there's a car in your blind spot, you've got a blind spot detector on there. So as a car approaches me here, it should detect it and it should let me know that there's a car in my blind spot with a orange sensor. Now again, that's a sensor used widely in industry. However, you know, I think it comes in really handy on this car as well. Now this car feels really nippy. I've got it in dynamic mode right now. It feels really fast, really nippy, especially around bends. I'd say it's a really fun car to drive. Now, do I personally recommend this car? I think it's a great car. It's a great car for families, and I think families will really like this car because it's more of a crossover than an actual large SUV. It starts at around £48,000, which means that it's quite pricey for like a crossover SUV. And I think that if you wanted the same quality of a Range Rover but a larger one, I think you'd have to pay a lot more in terms of the Sport or in terms of the SVR. But I think this is the perfect family car. However, obviously the small sizing in the back does make it a bit uncomfortable if you have large passengers. I would personally buy this car any day of the week, and I would use this car as an everyday car because I think it looks nice, it makes people look at it and makes people want it. The design on the outside looks really nice, the design on the inside looks amazing. The technological features in terms of the infotainment system looks really good. It works really good. The quality of it is built really well. I can't really fault this car for many things. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when I make a new upload.